thousands of officers in Britain's biggest police force were apparently not properly vetted during a major recruitment drive. That's according to a new report.
Well, it says that senior Met officers ignored national guidelines to fast-track more than 4,500 recruits, allowing unsuitable staff to remain. And, of course, that led to undermining public trust.
Let's talk to former Met Police Detective Peter Bleksley. With all the problems the Met has had lately, Peter, I can't get my head around this.
And many of those problems that they've had have stemmed from this lack of correct vetting of people, because many of them have gone on to commit appalling crimes. And we've seen those stories. There has been story after story of police officer convicted of very serious criminality, from rape to corruption charges to all manner of misdemeanours and serious crimes. And this is because they lowered the bar in their haste to largely recruit Boris Johnson's 20,000. This affected some 5,000 in the Met. And we, the public, have paid the price because people utterly unsuited to policing have got their way in, have got warrant cards, uniforms, and then gone on to behave appallingly.
I don't know if you've seen the front page of the Telegraph this morning, Peter, but it's truly shocking. The Metropolitan Police hired an officer, including a man accused of raping a child. His application was initially rejected, then that was overturned, later convicted of 13 counts of rape, including 6 against a child. When you hear stories like this, are you shocked? Are you surprised by that decision from the Met?
All of those things, but I'm also saddened. I'm saddened for the really good police officers, those who join, that want to serve the public, that want to help people in their moment of need, and then they have to end up working alongside monsters like that. But there's one word this morning that's missing from Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary's understandable outrage, from the words of senior police officers, and, of course, the inspectorate, who are going to do a thorough inquiry. There's one important word missing, and that is accountability. Who is going to be held accountable for making such dreadful decisions to allow these people in? Who's responsible for lowering the bar? Who made that policy? That senior police officer needs to be named, shamed, and sent packing from policing.
But even when you look at these individual cases, there must be someone looking at this and looking at, you know, an approximate background to these people and just going, well, it'll be fine, let's just tick the box, it'll be all right. Someone must be making individual decisions.
It's beyond comprehension that people can be allowed into a role such as policing without the most strident checks being carried out. Back in the day, you had a home visit from a police officer, and they would poke their nose around and have a look at what your living circumstances were like, as well, of course, as checking things like, if you were a youngster, school reports and the like. All of that just got thrown away in an effort to try and get as many people through the front door of the training school as they possibly could. And some of these people deliberately joined the police because they were members of organised crime gangs. So they joined so that they could access police computer systems, data systems, find out what the police might be doing in investigations against them. It's utterly appalling. And it's such a shame, not only for the public, but for the good cops who had to work alongside such vermin.
And all of this, Peter, just leads to a lack of trust from the public.
Of course, because the public should rightfully expect that a police officer that turns up when you've made that 999 call, when you're having one of the worst days of your life, that the police officer that turns up is going to be upright, honest, truthful, and is going to help you, and is not a criminal in any way, shape or form.
Peter, as always, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed.
There's nothing more important than keeping your money and your identity safe online. And with so many VPN options available, choosing the right one can be pretty daunting. But this video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is making the choice easier for GB News viewers. ExpressVPN is offering up to 73% off, plus 4 extra months free. That's top-level security from just £2.49 a month, and you're covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. So just click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code now. Remember, when you're online, you are often sharing personal data, so hackers can steal your information, your passwords, your photos, and your bank details in just seconds. But ExpressVPN encrypts your connection, making it virtually impossible for hackers to access your personal information. So why choose ExpressVPN? Well, it couldn't be easier to use. With just one click, you are protected. And ExpressVPN uses military-grade AES 256 encryption, which is the same standard trusted by the US government to guard their classified information. With their new tiered plans, you can protect up to 14 devices at once and manage passwords securely. Live chat support is available 24/7, and it typically connects you in under a minute with a real person. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to get up to 73% off ExpressVPN plus 4 extra months free. Start protecting yourself today with ExpressVPN.
Well, let's speak now to retired Scotland Yard Detective Inspector Hamish Brown, who joins us now. Good morning to you, Hamish. What do you make of this story? It's truly shocking.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, it wasn't long ago I had the lead letter in the Times voicing off about this, and it absolutely beggars belief. Now, there is a 2-year report ongoing. It's Lady, and I hope I pronounced her name correctly, Angelini. She made a number of recommendations. Recommendation number 7 was quite clear. There should be 1, a personal home visit, and 2, a personal in-depth interview with the proposed candidate. Now, I go back a long time, to the early 70s. I came home one day, I was waiting for my application to come through, and my mother stood. A uniformed police officer arrived unannounced and said, "I want to see his bedroom." Well, it was a bit of a shock for her. I don't suppose they're allowed to do that, but if there was something iffy in the room, if there was something of some concern, I'd have been eliminated straight away. I mean, the fact that nothing's been done really beggars belief, and it's an utter disgrace. The public must have full confidence that the officer going into their house or investigating their crime is as clean as a whistle. They don't have previous convictions. I just don't understand it.
What seems pretty clear, Hamish, is that this failure with more than 4,500 recruits has had some pretty clear impacts.
Yes, I mean, it is awful, and I don't know if they're going to backtrack and do their job properly in the first place. Also, there has to be an ongoing review, because how do you know a serving officer, for example, hadn't got into a bit of trouble, had a minor criminal conviction for something or other, and did not disclose it? So it should be an ongoing process, and people should be called to account. Lady Angelini's report is quite clear. There are those recommendations. I say recommendation 7. Why aren't you doing those home visits? Why aren't you doing the personal in-depth interviews? Because what's happened is it's come back to bite the police. 1, we've seen some disgraceful behaviour, and 2, it's let the public down. Oh my goodness, the police need the public support. A lot of things have gone against them. A lot of good work out there as well, may I say. But they really don't need this, and they've got to get their act in order. It's not just about statistics and getting as many people through as possible. It is getting through the right people.
OK. Hamish, good to talk to you. Thank you.
Well, Assistant Commissioner for the Met, Rachel Williams, said in publishing this report today, we are being open and transparent about past vetting and recruitment practices that led, in some cases, to unsuitable people joining the Met. We found that some historical practices did not meet the strengthened hiring and vetting standards that we have today. We issued these we identified these issues ourselves and have fixed them quickly while making sure that any risk to the public has been properly and effectively managed.